Diana Ross, the dazzling diva, the voice of a generation, the woman who redefined music, fashion, and fame. For over 5 decades, she lit up the stage with an unstoppable presence. But now, at 80 years old, the world is quietly watching a heartbreaking transformation unfold. Behind the glittering gowns and legendary anthems lies a life shaped by struggle, sacrifice, and sorrow. Fame may have lifted Diana Ross to unimaginable heights, but it also came at a devastating cost. What happened to the woman who once ruled Motown and conquered the world? The truth is more tragic than you might expect, and more powerful than you've ever heard. So stay with us, because this isn't just a story about music. This is the untold reality of a legend's final act. What's your favorite memory of Diana Ross? Was it her Supremes days, her solo hits, or her iconic stage presence? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We're reading all of them. In a notable incident on December 30th, 2002, Diana Ross found herself in a legal predicament. At that time, she was undergoing substance abuse treatment at a rehabilitation facility located in Tucson, Arizona. During this period of rehabilitation, Ross encountered legal trouble when she was arrested for driving under the influence. Following her arrest, Diana Ross faced legal consequences for her actions. She was subsequently sentenced to serve a 2-day jail term near her Connecticut estate. This sentence was part of the legal repercussions for her driving under the influence arrest. Diana Ross, the legendary American singer and actress, was born in Detroit, Michigan, on March 26, 1944. She was the second child among 6 siblings, born to Ernestine and Fred Ross. Sr. Her mother originally intended to name her Diane, but a clerical error on the birth certificate led to her being officially named Diana. However, her family and friends in Detroit always called her Diane. Diana grew up in a Baptist household with her parents and her siblings, including 2 sisters, Barbara and Rita, and 3 brothers named Arthur, Fred Jr., and Wilbert, who was affectionately known as Chico. The Ross family originally lived at 635 Belmont Street, in the North End section of Detroit, close to Highland Park, Michigan. Notably, their neighbor was the famous Smokey Robinson. However, when Diana was 7 years old, her mother contracted tuberculosis, which left her gravely ill. To ensure her recovery and the well-being of the children, Diana's parents made the difficult decision to send her and her siblings to live with their maternal grandparents, Reverend William Moten, who was the pastor of the Bessemer Baptist Church, and Mrs. William Moten in Bessemer, Alabama. After her mother's recovery, Diana, along with her brothers and sisters, eventually returned to Detroit, where her remarkable journey as an entertainer would begin. On her 14th birthday in 1958, Diana Ross's family made a significant move, relocating to the working-class Brewster Douglas housing projects in Detroit, where they settled on St. Antoine Street. Diana continued her education at Cass Technical High School, a prestigious 4-year college and preparatory magnet school located in downtown Detroit. Her dreams at the time revolved around a career in fashion design. To pursue her aspirations of becoming a fashion designer, Diana engaged in a diverse range of coursework at Cass Tech. She took classes in clothing design, millinery, the art of making hats, pattern making, and tailoring. Alongside her pursuit of fashion design, Diana explored other areas of interest during evenings and weekends. She embarked on modeling and cosmetology classes, and it's worth noting that she later revealed that Smokey Robinson had generously provided her with the funds necessary to attend these classes. Diana also actively participated in the school's extracurricular activities, including joining its swim team. In 1960, Diana took her first steps into the professional world when she was hired as a busgirl at Hudson's, a prominent downtown Detroit department store. Her hiring at Hudson's was particularly noteworthy, as she became the store's first African-American busgirl, marking an important milestone in her early working life. To supplement her income, Diana offered hairdressing services to her neighbors, showcasing her talents and entrepreneurial spirit. Diana Ross's academic journey at Cass Tech culminated in her graduation in January 1962. This period of her life laid the foundation for her future success and iconic career in the entertainment industry. At the age of 15 in 1958, Diana Ross began her journey to musical stardom when she joined the Primettes. The Primettes were the sister group to a male vocal ensemble called the Primes. This connection was established when Paul Williams, a member of the Primes, noticed her talent and brought her to the attention of music manager Milton Jenkins. Alongside Diana, the Primettes consisted of Florence Ballard, Mary Wilson, and Betty McGlown, who was dating Paul Williams at the time. The Primettes' talents shone when they won a talent competition in 1960 in Windsor, Ontario. Their performance caught the attention of A&R executive and songwriter Robert Bateman, who invited them to audition for Motown Records. Notably, Diana Ross's remarkable live performances at various events, including Sock Hops, began to gain recognition. In a significant turn of events, Diana approached her former neighbor and rumored childhood boyfriend William "Smokey" Robinson to discuss auditioning for Motown. Smokey, however, insisted that the Primettes first auditioned for him. He agreed to bring the Primettes to Motown on one condition, that they let him and his group, the Miracles, hire the Primettes' guitarist, Marv Tarplin, for an upcoming tour. This arrangement led to Marv Tarplin's long and influential tenure in Robinson's bands, which Diana Ross considered a fair trade. The Primettes later went through the Motown audition process, performing before various Motown executives. Berry Gordy, the founder of Motown, recalled hearing Diana Ross sing "There Goes My Baby" and being captivated by her voice. This chance encounter stopped him in his tracks. Despite their talent, Gordy advised the group to finish high school before pursuing a career with Motown. Undaunted by this advice, the Primettes began to frequent Motown's Hitsville, USA headquarters, offering their support for Motown recordings by contributing hand claps and background vocals. In 1960, the group recorded 2 tracks for Lupin Records, with Diana Ross singing lead on one of them. During this period, Diana took on various roles within the group, serving as its hairstylist, makeup artist, seamstress, and costume designer. In late 1960, with Barbara Martin replacing Betty McGlown, the Primettes were granted the opportunity to record their own songs at Hitsville Studio. Many of these songs were written by Smokey Robinson, who was then the vice president of Motown. Some of these early tracks included "Your Heart Belongs to Me" and "A Breathtaking Guy." While they enjoyed regional success, these songs did not become nationwide hits. In January 1961, Berry Gordy agreed to sign the group, but under the condition that they changed their name. Florence Ballard, a member of the Primettes, chose the name Supremes, reportedly because it was the only name on the list that didn't end with Ada. Diana Ross expressed concerns that the new name might be mistaken for a male vocal group. But Gordy went ahead and signed the group as the Supremes on January 15, 1961. Over the years, the group underwent changes, with Barbara Martin leaving in 1962, reducing the quartet to a trio. In 1963, Diana Ross took on the role of lead singer. Their breakthrough came in 1964 with the release of "Where Did Our Love Go?", which became their first #1 hit, setting the stage for a remarkable run of success. In 1965, she officially adopted the name Diana, a deviation from her birth name, Diane. It was also at this time that Ross began a romantic relationship with Motown CEO Berry Gordy, which continued for several years. This relationship led to the birth of Ross's eldest child, Rhonda Suzanne Silverstein, in August 1971. Interestingly, Rhonda was raised by Robert Ellis Silverstein, a music executive and Diana Ross's then-husband, despite knowing her true paternity. Ross decided to tell Rhonda the truth when she was 13 years old, revealing that Berry Gordy was her biological father. Before this revelation, Rhonda referred to Gordy as Uncle BB. During her marriage to Robert Ellis Silverstein, Diana Ross had 2 daughters, Tracy Joy Silverstein, who later became known as Tracy Ellis Ross, born in 1972, and Chudney Lane Silverstein, born in 1975. Ross and Silverstein divorced in 1977. In May 1970, Diana Ross embarked on her solo career with the release of her self-titled debut solo album. This album marked the beginning of a highly successful solo journey. In 1971, Diana Ross achieved her first #1 single in the UK with the ballad, "I'm Still Waiting." During the same year, she starred in her first solo television special titled Diana, which also featured the Jackson 5. Diana Ross expanded her career into acting by working on her first film, Lady Sings the Blues, which was released in 1972. The film was a loosely based biography of jazz and blues singer Billie Holiday, although there was initial criticism of her taking on the role. Diana's performance in the film was met with critical acclaim. Notably, jazz critic Leonard Feather praised her for expertly capturing the essence of Billie Holiday. Her role in Lady Sings the Blues earned her nominations for a Golden Globe Award and an Academy Award for Best Actress. The film's soundtrack also achieved great success, reaching the #1 spot on the Billboard 200 chart and selling 2 million units. In November 1972, Diana Ross sang the song, When We Grow Up, for the children's album, Free to Be You and Me. The year 1973 was marked by Diana Ross's second #1 hit in the U.S. with the ballad, Touch Me in the Morning. Later that year, she released a duet album with fellow Motown artist Marvin Gaye titled Diana and Marvin, which became an international hit. She toured extensively during 1973 and became the first entertainer in Japan's history to receive an invitation to the Imperial Palace for a private audience with Empress Nagako, the wife of Emperor Hirohito. In April 1974, Diana Ross co-hosted the Academy Awards, making her the first African-American woman to do so. She shared hosting duties with John Huston, Burt Reynolds, and David Niven. In 1976, Diana Ross released her fourth solo #1 hit, Love Hangover, a song that transitioned from a sensual dramatic ballad to an up-tempo disco tune. That same year, she launched her An Evening with Diana Ross tour, which was highly successful. The tour led to a 2-week engagement at Broadway's Palace Theater and an Emmy-nominated television special of the same name. The television special included special makeup effects by Stan Winston and featured a scene where Diana Ross portrayed legendary cabaret artist Josephine Baker and blues singers Bessie Smith and Ethel Waters. For her exceptional performance, Diana Ross also received a special Tony Award. Diana Ross achieved her greatest success in 1980 with the release of the album Diana, which featured hits like I'm Coming Out and Upside Down. These songs became chart toppers and solidified her popularity with a new generation of dance audiences. That same year, she recorded a duet ballad titled Endless Love with Lionel Richie, which became her 6th and final single to reach #1 on the Billboard Hot 100. Also this time, Diana Ross dated Gene Simmons, the bassist and co-lead singer of the band Kiss. They were involved until 1983. Their relationship began after a suggestion from Cher, who was a friend of Simmons from their past relationship. Interestingly, Simmons later stated that he fell in love with Ross while he was still dating Cher, which led to the end of Ross and Cher's friendship. In 1985, Ross met her second husband, Arne Næss Jr., a Norwegian shipping magnate, and they got married in 1986. During their marriage, Diana Ross became a stepmother to Arne Næss's 3 older children, Katinka, Christopher, and folk singer Leona Nias. The couple also had 2 sons together, Ross, Arne, and Evan Olive, born in 1987 and 1988, respectively. However, their marriage ended in divorce in 2000 after reports emerged that Næss had fathered a child with another woman in Norway. Ross considers Næss the love of her life, and she maintained close relationships with her 3 ex-stepchildren. Diana Ross has been blessed with a loving family, which has expanded over the years. She now has 7 grandchildren. Her daughter, Rhonda, is the mother of grandson Rafe Hinnick, born in 2009. In 1980, Diana Ross began negotiations to leave her longtime record label, Motown, after over 2 decades of association. She received a severance package of $250,000 from Motown. RCA Records extended a remarkable offer to Ross, a $20 million, 7-year recording contract that gave her full production control over her albums. Before signing with RCA, she reportedly approached Berry Gordy, the head of Motown, to see if he could match RCA's offer, but Gordy stated that it was impossible. As a result, Diana Ross signed with RCA on May 20, 1981, in what became one of the most expensive recording deals in music history. In October 1981, Ross released her first album under RCA, titled Why Do Fools Fall in Love? The album was a commercial success, selling over 1 million copies. It included hit singles like her remake of the classic song Why Do Fools Fall in Love and Mirror Mirror. Following her move to RCA, Ross also established her own production company, Enide Productions, which is Diana spelled backward, and ventured into real estate investments. She continued to tour extensively both in the United States and abroad. On May 6, 1982, Diana Ross was honored with a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. She followed up the success of Why Do Fools Fall in Love with the release of Silk Electric, an album featuring the hit single Muscles, which was written and produced by Michael Jackson. This song earned Ross another top 10 hit and a Grammy nomination. The album eventually achieved gold status. In 1983, Diana Ross explored a pop-rock sound with the release of the Ross album. While it included the top 40 hit, Single Pieces of Ice, the album didn't produce further hits and did not reach gold status. In 1984, Diana Ross released Swept Away, an album that featured the duet All of You with Julio Iglesias. The single Missing You, penned as a tribute to Marvin Gaye, was also included on the album and became an international hit. Swept Away achieved gold record sales. Her 1985 album, Eaten Alive, produced by Barry Gibb of the Bee Gees, featured the #1 single chain reaction in the UK and other countries. The title track, a collaboration with Michael Jackson and Barry Gibb, also performed well. The accompanying music videos for both songs contributed to their success. In 1985, Diana Ross made an appearance as part of USA for Africa's charity single We Are the World, which sold over 20 million copies worldwide. In 1986, Diana Ross hosted the 13th Annual American Music Awards, and she returned to host the 14th annual telecast the following year. In May 2004, Diana Ross and her daughter, Tracy Ellis Ross, graced the cover of Essence magazine as part of the celebration of the magazine's 50th anniversary. On December 8, 2004, Ross was featured as the performer for a tribute to Stevie Wonder at the Billboard Music Awards Century Award. In January 2005, Ross participated in the Tsunami Aid, a Concert of Hope TV concert, aimed at raising funds for the victims of the 2004 Indian Ocean earthquake. Subsequently, on January 20, 2005, she launched her MAC Icon makeup collection as part of the Beauty Corporation's Icon series. In 2005, Ross joined Rod Stewart for a duet of the Gershwin standard I've Got a Crush on You as part of Stewart's album Thanks for the Memory, The Great American Songbook, Volume 4. The song was released as a promotional single and reached number 19 on the Billboard Hot Adult Contemporary chart. Ross also collaborated with Westlife on a cover of her 1991 hit When You Tell Me That You Love Me, which achieved chart success, reaching number 2 on the UK singles chart, number 1 in Ireland. In 2005, Diana Ross was honored as a guest at Oprah Winfrey's Legends Ball weekend, celebrating 25 African-American women in art, entertainment, and civil rights. The weekend was later aired as a one-hour program on ABC. Ross's televised Central Park concerts, titled For One and For All, were named TV Land Awards Viewers' Choice for Television's Greatest Music Moment in March 2006. In June 2006, Universal released Ross's shelved 1972 Blue album, which peaked at number 2 on Billboard's Top Jazz Albums chart. Later that year, in 2006, she released her first studio album in 7 years, titled I Love You. The album achieved success, peaking at number 32 on the Billboard Hot 200 Albums chart and number 16 on the Billboard Top R&B Albums chart. Ross embarked on a world tour to promote I Love You. In 2007, she received the BET Awards Lifetime Achievement Award and was honored at the Kennedy Center Honors. On August 28, 2008, Ross performed at the opening of the U.S. Open tennis tournament in tribute to Billie Jean King. She also headlined the 2008 Nobel Peace Prize concert in Oslo, Norway. In October 2009, Ross was the featured performer at the annual Symfonica and Rosso concert series held at the Gelredome Stadium in Arnhem, Netherlands. In 2010, she embarked on her first headlining tour in 3 years, titled The More Today Than Yesterday, The Greatest Hits Tour. This tour, dedicated to the memory of her late friend Michael Jackson, received positive reviews nationwide. In 2011, Diana Ross was inducted into the Michigan Rock and Roll Legends Hall of Fame. In February 2012, she received her first Grammy Award for Lifetime Achievement and announced the nominees for the Album of the Year. A DVD of her Central Park concert performances, For One and For All, was released in May. Later in December 2012, She performed at the White House-hosted Christmas in Washington concert with former President Barack Obama in attendance. This event was broadcast annually on TNT. In 2013, Ross completed a tour in South America and another in the United States. On July 3, 2014, she received the Ella Fitzgerald Award for her contribution to contemporary jazz vocals at the Montreal International Jazz Festival. On November 20, 2014, she presented the Dick Clark Award for Excellence to Taylor Swift at the American Music Awards. In 2015, Ross made an appearance in the music video for her son, Evan Ross's song, How to Live Alone. She began a mini-residency titled The Essential Diana Ross, Some Memories Never Fade at the Venetian in Las Vegas in April 2015. On November 27, 2015, Motown Universal released the album Diana Ross Sings Songs from The Wiz, recorded in 1978. The album featured Ross's versions of songs from the film version of the musical The Wiz, in which she starred alongside Michael Jackson, Nipsey Russell, Ted Ross, Richard Pryor, and Lena Horne. In February 2016, Ross resumed her In the Name of Love tour, which initially began in 2013. On November 22, 2016, she received the Presidential Medal of Freedom from President Obama. In December 2016, Billboard magazine ranked Diana Ross as the 50th most successful dance club artist of all time. On June 30, 2017, Ross headlined the Essence Festival in New Orleans with her daughter Rhonda Ross Kendrick performing as the opening act. On November 19, 2017, Ross received the American Music Awards Lifetime Achievement Award and performed several of her hits. Her performance ended with Ain't No Mountain High Enough, during which she brought all of her grandchildren on stage. Her grandson, Reef Hennick, Emmanuel Kendrick, the son of Rhonda Ross Kendrick, performed a dance on stage drawing attention. Diana Ross was also joined on stage by her children, their spouses, her first ex-husband Robert Ellis, Smokey Robinson, and Motown founder Berry Gordy. In December 2017, Ross appeared on the Home Shopping Network to promote her first fragrance, Diamond Diana. The fragrance sold out within hours. Alongside the fragrance, a tie-in CD retrospective collection of her music called Diamond Diana was released. It reached number 6 on the Billboard R&B Albums chart and number 5 on the Top Album Sales chart. The CD's first single release, Ain't No Mountain High Enough 2017, remixed by Eric Cooper, reached number 1 on the Billboard Dance Club Songs chart. On February 8, 2018, Ross began a new mini-residency at Wynn Las Vegas. She continued to have success in the dance music world, scoring another number 1 hit on Billboard's Top Dance chart with I'm Coming Out Upside Down 2018 on August 4, 2018. She also performed at the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade in 2018. In December 2018, Billboard magazine ranked Diana Ross as the 3rd most successful dance club artist of all time. On February 10, 2019, the Recording Academy honored Ross at the 61st Annual Grammy Awards. She performed The Best Years of My Life and Reach Out and Touch Somebody's Hand. In 2019, her song The Boss was remixed by Eric Cooper as The Boss 2019 and reached number 1 on Billboard's Top Dance chart on April 13. In October 2019, it was announced that Ross would play the Sunday Legend slot on the Pyramid stage at the Glastonbury Festival for the festival's 50th anniversary. However, the festival was postponed due to the COVID-19 pandemic. On November 10, 2021, Ross confirmed that she would play the Legend slot at the 2022 festival. In May 2020, Diana Ross released Supertonic Mixes, a collection featuring 9 of her greatest hits, remixed by Eric Cooper. The remixes breathed new life into these iconic tracks, appealing to a fresh generation of fans. In July 2020, Supertonic Mixes was also made available on CD and crystal clear vinyl LP. In May 2022, Ross released the single Turn Up the Sunshine, a collaboration with the psychedelic pop band Tame Impala. This track served as the lead single from the original soundtrack album of the film Minions: The Rise of Gru. The album itself offered fresh interpretations of classic 1970s hits by artists such as Brittany Howard, St. Vincent, H.E.R., and more, with Turn Up the Sunshine as a contemporary edition. On June 4, 2022, Diana Ross was the star finale act at the Platinum Party at the Palace, celebrating the Platinum Jubilee of Queen Elizabeth II. She continued to dazzle audiences on June 10, 2022, when she kicked off the UK leg of her Thank You tour at Cardiff Castle. Then, on June 26, she took the stage live at the Pyramid Stage at the Glastonbury Festival, captivating fans with her timeless performance. In June 2023, Diana Ross began her The Music Legacy Tour in the United States, celebrating her greatest #1 hits. This tour allows fans to experience her timeless music live, reaffirming her status as a legendary artist. Additionally, it was announced in May 2023 that Ross will perform at London's Royal Albert Hall on October 14 and 15, 2023, further solidifying her status as an enduring musical icon with a global following. Ross's impact is widespread, having influenced numerous artists across generations. Icons like Michael Jackson, Beyoncé, Madonna, Jade Thirlwall, Questlove, Ledisi, and the Ting Tings have all drawn inspiration from her remarkable career and artistry. Furthermore, Ross's career and life have inspired various works of art. The character of Dina Jones in both the play and film versions of Dreamgirls drew inspiration from Ross's life and journey. The impact of Diana Ross extends to Broadway. Motown the Musical, which launched in 2013, tells the story of Berry Gordy's creation of Motown Records and his romance with Diana Ross. The production featured different actresses portraying Ross, including Felicia Luque and Lucy St. Louis. Ross was also portrayed in the stage play Ain't Too Proud by actresses like Candice Marie Woods and Deriandra Tucker. As a member of the Supremes and a solo artist, Ross's songs including Stop in the Name of Love and You Can't Hurry Love are recognized as among the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame's 500 songs that shaped rock and roll. The Supremes were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1988, received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame in 1994, and entered the Vocal Group Hall of Fame in 1998. In 2004, Rolling Stone ranked the Supremes at number 96 on their list of the 100 greatest artists of all time. Billboard magazine recognized Diana Ross as the Female Entertainer of the Century in 1976. She is one of the few recording artists with 2 stars on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, one as a solo artist and another as a member of the Supremes. In 1986, Diana Ross Playground was named in her honor in Central Park, New York, acknowledging her contributions and a groundbreaking opening ceremony. Ross's influence extends to her role in introducing the Jackson 5 to the public, leading to the album Diana Ross Presents the Jackson 5. Although there were misunderstandings regarding her discovery of the Jackson 5, her portrayal as their discoverer became part of Motown's marketing and promotional strategy. She also maintained a close friendship with Michael Jackson, serving as a mother figure to him. To honor her, Kaufman Astoria Studios dedicated Studio 4 in Astoria, Queens, as the Diana Ross Building in 1985. Her involvement in The Wiz helped it bring the studio back into prominence. In 2006, Oprah Winfrey's Leggins Ball celebrated Diana Ross and 24 other African-American women for their contributions to art, entertainment, and civil rights. Diana Ross was named one of the 5 mighty pop divas of the 60s, alongside Dusty Springfield, Aretha Franklin, Martha Reeves, and Dionne Warwick. In 2023, Rolling Stone recognized Diana Ross as the 87th greatest singer of all time, reaffirming her enduring impact on the world of music. Her legacy and influence continue to be celebrated and cherished by fans and fellow artists alike. What do you think about Diana Ross's life during her 80 years of building her career? Leave us your comments in the section below. We hope you have found this helpful video. Don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you like it. Thank you for watching this, and see you in the next videos. Goodbye.